Hello everyone, my name is Pixlriffs and welcome back to the Skyblock Survival Guide. I hope you guys are having a good day, and you might notice that yes, I am back in fully enchanted diamond armor. I've been doing a little bit of work off camera to restore some of the villager infrastructure that I seem to have mysteriously lost at the end of the last episode, and we now have some more villagers in here. Now, these aren't unfortunately cured zombie villagers. I have just taken a few villagers out of this section here, some new villagers that were being born at the time. You can see that they are hard at work replacing those to fill up the amount of beds inside of here, and I just kind of tucked them away inside of each of these little areas here. So we haven't cured them. I could always release a zombie from an area nearby and try to get them all, you know, zombified and cure them again so we could get some discounts. Their trades are all pretty much locked in at this point. The one holdout so far is this Weaponsmith, and I haven't been able to get hold of enough coal to trade with him, and I don't really feel like buying a bunch of Bane of Arthropods 3 swords off of this guy. So I'll probably head back to the nether, do a little bit more coal farming now that we have the farm set up for all of the nether mobs. We're getting plenty of coal from wither skeletons, but as you'll see, the rest of these guys are now fully kitted out with actually some better enchantments than the ones we had before. Give or take the boots not having depths tried out, I think we have an Aqua Affinity helmet here. We have a Protection 2 Unbreaking 2 chestplate. In fact, all of these have protection in some form, which is my preferred enchantment for diamond armor, so that's actually kind of great. Also over here, we don't have a Silk Touch axe anymore, but luckily I was able to preserve one of those, and we even have an Unbreaking and Efficiency pickaxe and shovel as well, so those are looking good right now. And as it happens, getting emeralds is not too big of a deal, so I'm not that worried about the trading prices. Like I said, we could always lower those later if we wanted to, but having an iron farm already is a really great way of trading through the early stages of those blacksmith professions. To get hold of some of those later trades, all you really need to do is trade a bunch of iron in bulk, and as you can see, the iron farm is still working flawlessly, so hopefully we shouldn't have too much trouble with that. We can always trade melons and pumpkins with the farmers, that kind of thing. And I've even created a couple more farmers down there to make sure that we have a few. Some of the professions down there I wasn't using, I've just converted into farmers in the meantime so that we have more opportunities for trading. So today, I think we're going to go back to the end for a second, and part of that is wanting to address something that a lot of people pointed out in the comments of the last episode. So in our previous episode where I came here to fight the dragon, I took a pretty hefty hit from the dragon at one point while it was down here on the bedrock portal, and I was flung up into the air, and I tried to place a water bucket as I landed to try and allow myself a bit of a safe fall. That unfortunately failed, and I died, and all of my stuff was splayed out on the ground. When I returned to the end, I ended up coming over here because I thought I had fallen close to the edge of an island, and I found this, a water source that had been placed earlier in the video, and that I thought was a water source I had accidentally placed as I died and swept all of my gear off the island. But it turns out that when I thought I had collected up this water source, Minecraft had double-clicked for me, and the water bucket hadn't been refilled, meaning that water source stayed there from when I was trying to get down from this tower. In the heat of the moment, in the adrenaline rush of the dragon fight, I simply didn't recognize that that was the case, and it turns out that I actually got flung, I think probably somewhere over here. Now, unfortunately, since I came back to the end to fight the dragon again, I spent a bit of time just punching it melee style, dealing damage that way, and I ended up probably spending more than 5 minutes with this dimension loaded in. After that, I think all of my items eventually despawned, but I think I got flung over in this direction instead of over towards that area where the water source was, and I simply didn't recognize that at the time. It was much more obvious when I went back and edited the video that I had been flung in a separate direction and that I hadn't picked up that water source. But sometimes when you're running around doing this stuff in the heat of the moment, you completely miss stuff like that, and that was kind of the biggest mistake I made throughout the entire adventure, was thinking I had fallen in a completely different place. And I'm surprised that the dragon fight didn't take me around to another area of the island while I was trying to run away from the dragon's attacks, and I didn't notice that my gear was just laying around in a different part. But over here with the terrain of the end island, they were probably somewhere down there, would actually have been quite easy to miss. Anyway, none of that particularly matters now, because I have myself a new set of diamond gear, which might even have slightly better enchantments, and give or take the diamond sword, I'm looking pretty well geared up for whatever else the game is going to throw at me, and that will probably include a trip out to the outer end islands today, because I really feel like taking on an end city and seeing what we can get hold of out there. If this Enderman doesn't keep walking in front of me while I'm mining out this obsidian, which he really seems determined to do, I want to take out a little bit of the obsidian from these towers so that we can use that to build a couple of things, and also make a nice safe area under here that I can use to farm some ender pearls. Once I've got a safe little cubbyhole, I can start looking at these guys and see if we can deal a little bit of damage. They shouldn't be able to reach me underneath here, and I can farm a few ender pearls for our trip out to the end. At least we don't need them for lighting up an end portal or anything like that, so I can just concentrate on having them for getting through end gateways and maybe navigating the landscape of those outer islands. Unfortunately, all this sword has is smite. We no longer have sharpness or looting, so I might need to try and get myself a better sword, trade with that weaponsmith a little bit more before we actually go out there on our journey, and I'm not really equipped for it right now because I don't have many blocks on me, but we could always mine out the end landscape, or alternatively, I think I might just do a little bit of tree farming and bring a whole bunch of wood planks with me. But I just thought it was worth clearing that up before I continue with this episode, because I know a lot of people were leaving comments on the last episode letting me know my gear was still there. Yes, unfortunately, it has despawned. But no worries, this is Skyblock. We can create new gear, and I have done that relatively easily off camera, so now we can just go ahead and continue with the adventure. So, a short amount of time later, I am back at full diamond gear with a diamond sword which has, drumroll please, Sweeping Edge 2. Yep, they did not trade me anything particularly great for a diamond sword, but that's totally fine. I now have a decent set of diamond armor with all protection 4, thanks to another librarian book trade I was able to scrounge up, and I put mending on the helmet, the leggings, and the boots. I did not put it on the chest plate though, because we will probably end up replacing the chest plate with Elytra once I have access to that. And for that purpose, I think I'm actually going to take a little bit of paper and a stack of gunpowder with me to the end, and then hopefully we should be able to apply mending to the Elytra pretty much straight away. All I got to do is take an anvil and some stuff with me for a stack of fireworks, and that's going to make getting back from the end a whole lot easier. Of course, we could always do the old trick of stashing all of our stuff in an ender chest and throwing myself into the void, but I don't feel like doing that this time around. I actually feel like doing it sort of legit, as it were, and so I think it's going to be nice to have the gear for a stack of fireworks, or maybe even make a few stacks of fireworks to begin with and take those with me, but it will take up a little bit less space in my inventory just to carry the materials for now. Having said that, I'm going to make a couple of ender chests before I go. I've already made one and made the unfortunate mistake of placing it in the world and realizing that I did not have a Silk Touch pickaxe to pick it up. The only Silk Touch tool I have is an axe, which I'm not going to bring with me and cannot be used to break an ender chest anyway. So I'm going to take this one with me to be used in emergencies, or if we happen to find a Silk Touch tool out there in the end cities, because there's a chance that we could always find one as part of end cities. Now, I will probably take a few more torches with me. I think I might even have some torches stashed in a chest somewhere over here. Yep, there we go. Got a couple of stacks in here. I will take some of those. I'm going to bring a mending book with me, and I think I might bring this anvil with me as well. It's partly damaged and we have tons of iron, so we can always bring the anvil with us, and I think that should be okay. We've got 2 stacks of spruce logs, which will break down, of course, into 4 stacks of planks each. That should be enough bridging material, and we can gather a little bit from the end island as well. I've topped up on golden carrots. I think we are good to go, folks. Oh yes, one more addition, even though they failed me last episode, the water bucket. I think we probably need that just in case. So without further ado, let's hop through to the nether and let's once again go to the end. Okay, here we are back in the end, and the portal is only just up here. I did grab a stack of the oak leaves that we were using in the fortress farm, and I think I will use those to pillar up here just so we have a nice, easy access to that without breaking into any of our bridging planks just yet. Just need to make sure I don't look at too many endermen on the way up. There we go. Let's throw this through and see where we end up. And we are out here on an island. Okay, not a bad start. I will take a note of the coordinates here just so we can get back to this if we need to. Perfect. Oh, I took 2 screenshots there by mistake. Okay, let's make a start. Let's bridge out in any direction from here and hope that we run into an end city. The idea being to find one hopefully as soon as possible. That way we can start raiding stuff, getting shulker boxes, hopefully get our first elytra, and maybe even encounter a couple of diamonds, because re-enchanting some of the gear we have right now, especially while I still have 52 experience levels, is going to be a very good thing. It often helps when you're traveling in the end to just travel in one direction, whether that is north, east, south, or west, and I think we will probably be heading in this direction, which is south, according to my debug screen. I can't see anything in these adjacent islands, and I think, yeah, we should probably be heading just in one direction. Wait a second. Oh, I see something on the horizon already. Thank goodness for a slightly larger render distance. I wouldn't have spotted that otherwise, and I see a bunch of stuff floating in the shadows in the sky. I don't know if that is going to be a boat or not. I really hope it is, but if not, at least we have eyesight of a good end city. That was a stroke of luck, really not very far from our beginning portal at all. I'm seeing towers. I'm seeing one tower that looks like it hasn't generated properly, which is always kind of strange, and then, yes, oh, it just loaded in. Fantastic. Yeah, no, it looks like that was just taking its time loading in as well. Great stuff. With a connected landmass, it looks like, all the way to the end city. That is about the best luck we could have gotten at this point. Unbelievable. Right, well, it's a very good thing that we're able to make our way to the end city this early. I've only got sweeping edge on the sword, so I'm going to have to rely on the sword's natural damage rating to do a decent amount of damage to the shulkers that are in here, but I've got a shield as well, so I can block the shulker bullets. We can bob and weave a little bit. I'm fairly well versed at taking on these cities by now, and our armor is giving us as much protection as it possibly can in the circumstances. I mean, maybe a little bit of projectile protection on one of the pieces would have helped a little, but for now, I think we should be okay to explore this end city. Hopefully raid a couple of these towers to find the loot chests at the top of them, head over to that ship and get ourselves the Elytra, and it looks like the shulkers at the door have been replaced by terrain, so they will probably be elsewhere. There we go, get that advancement city at the end of the game. Well, this is kind of just the beginning for us, really. As long as we can get a hold of a couple of shulker boxes, that will be super, super useful. And yeah, I don't have looting on this sword anymore. I really wish I did. I think the main thing to worry about here is going to be fall damage, because my boots do not have feather falling on them this time around, so I need to be extra careful that if I get struck by one of these bullets for that levitation effect, that I end up making sure I can land on something relatively close by until I get the Elytra, and then I can use the Elytra to drift downwards without having to worry too much about taking any damage. But yeah, got to make sure that as we rise up here, I'm either getting that levitation effect renewed every time, or I stick close to some of these platforms that are sticking out on the sides of the room. But as long as I'm taking damage, that means the levitation effect is getting rebuffed every time, and I can make my way up here, and hopefully the shulkers will start attacking themselves sooner or later. We're at the top, we've made it. Let's create a little barrier here using the leaves so we have a little bit of privacy. And there we go, set up a quick modesty screen, and let's see what we've got in our first loot chests. There they are, ladies and gentlemen. Diamonds for the first time in our Skyblock world, and hopefully not the last. A looting 3 sword as well, can you believe it? And we've even brought an anvil so we can combine the two of those if we need to. And that is one heck of a sword for fighting the Wither if you want. Smite 5, looting 3. In fact, I might make that my, I might put mending on that and make it the sword that I use over in the Nether Fortress. But there we go, we have the Diamonds advancement at long last. Oh, and we even have a fantastic helmet as well. Look at that, Unbreaking 3, mending, fire protection. Yeah, all right, I can deal with that. And feather falling iron boots as well, just in case I need those on this little trip. So I gotta say, that is mission number 1 accomplished. We have ourselves some diamonds from this end city, absolutely what I wanted to get. And hopefully we can take out a couple of shulkers, raid ourselves this end city, get some shulker boxes. In fact, right now I am kind of tempted to apply looting to that sword so that I can switch to it and get a higher chance of shulker shell drops. I've got enough experience to combine the two swords, so I think we will pop down the anvil over here and get to work. Which works best, looting and then sweeping edge? Yes, only 8 levels on that one, looting 3. Okay, we are going up in the world. We are scaling our weapons well here, and having that sweeping edge is going to be kind of useful as well. We will need that for attacking various things. If we want to set up an Enderman farm, that's probably a great idea. Now I have to make sure I can actually hit these freaking shulkers, because they are, despite being glued to the walls, they are evading my attacks a little bit here. I can see a couple of shells here and there though, so I just need to take out this remaining shulker down here once he opens his face up. There we go. And let's see if I can drop carefully down the rest of this tower Yep, should be totally fine. Our first shulker shells of Skyblock as well. Fantastic. We should even have a couple more of those on these little steps around here. So I'm going to, once again, use leaves and purple and endstone and whatever I've got with me to pillar up. And then we can break into the bridging material as needed. That is 4 shulker shells, though. So I might actually break into a crafting table and use the 2 chests that we just got to make ourselves 2 shulker boxes. And now I can start stashing any of the loot in there. And if we want to, and at a last-ditch effort, we can always put those in our ender chests and they will be safe, whatever happens to us here in the end. That's not a bad idea, actually. It's also, I believe, our first opportunity to get Beetroot Seeds, seeing as you can't really trade those from villagers. You can only trade beetroot to villagers, and we have no naturally spawned villages in the world. So unless you could get those in a woodland mansion, which I have not yet found on this map, it might be our only way of getting beetroot seeds is here in the end cities, which is pretty funny, actually, when you think about it. The shulkers have stuck to the outside of this tower. Let's see if we can take out a couple more of those. Yep, we've got one down, and oh, it's so tempting right now to just float our way over to this end city, but I have a feeling I would probably drop before I managed it. Look over there. There's another boat in the distance. Incredible. A boat pointing towards another boat. I think I'm going to go for it right now, folks. We're going to ender pearl over to this ship. Okay, we've hit the back. Oh, no, that's not good. That's not good at all. Okay, misjudged that ender pearl throw tragically, but luckily that end city is really not that far away, so I just need to gather up a couple of things, and this time I'm pretty certain I can remember where I ended up dying. Yeah, folks, we got greedy there, didn't we? We got a little bit greedy, but that's okay. And using the slabs over here, I can actually make my way over to the portal and use one of the lesser-known methods of getting into the portals, which is to pop a trapdoor on top of there, end up in the crouching position, and just stroll in like that. Okay, let's bridge out to this direction, and we should be able to make our way via this landmass around the outside to get back to where I lost all my stuff just now. And I didn't bring any food with me, but I can always knock down one of these chorus plants, and at a last-ditch effort, as a Hail Mary, I can use the chorus fruit to replenish my health a little bit, and then all we need to do is make our way around the outside of the island. The end city was, I believe, over in that direction. It should start to come into view fairly quickly, and from there we can make our way to the spot where I died. Yes, there it all is. I see it coming into view now. Fantastic. For a second there, I wasn't quite sure where I landed, but nope. Looks like we got all of our stuff back. And this is what it would have been like if I'd realized where my stuff landed when I died to the dragon. Okay, let's get stuff sorted here. Okay, we got the shulker box with all of the gear in. We've got all of my tools back in position, and I think this time I'll do the sensible thing and I'll bridge out to that end city ship instead of ender pearling over there and trying my chances at that. We've got the golden carrots here as well. Let's just do a quick check of the area to make sure stuff didn't fly any further. Nope, looks like we are all set. Right, let's have a second try at that. This time around, I'm keeping the water bucket on the hotbar because, probably because of my lack of success last time, it didn't even occur to me that I could use the water bucket this time around. Oh well, I think I'll probably just pillar up using another set of leaves here, and hopefully this should lead out to the platform we just took to get the end city in our sights. Yes, there we go. Okay, let's break out some of the spruce wood then, and let's make our way over there by bridging this time. Once we get within range of the shulkers, we are probably going to get ourselves a little bit more levitation, but that should be fine. Yep, once we get hit by this bullet, we can use the levitation effect to make our way over to the ship, and we can break our way in through this back wall as long as we don't end up getting shot off the side of the city here. I'll break my way in through this wall, and we are in. Okay, great. Now let's make our way down into the center, the bowels of the ship, take that guy out, and then take care of this guy in front of the Elytra, because that is going to make our Skyblock journey all that much more interesting. There we go. We've got the Elytra. The sky is the limit. The Skyblock is the limit. Let's see what we've got. Some more diamonds. Very nice. A little bit of fairly useless iron at this point, and wow, what a reward. A completely tricked out shovel, an efficiency 3 pickaxe, which, again, is not all that much better than what I've got already, but 6 diamonds, my friends. That has definitely been worth it. Let's pack those into the shulker box right here. Let's put the elytra in there as well. Let's put a couple of extra shulker shells in. I may as well put the iron in there as well. We left a couple of tools in here, which we can take with us in there, and we will probably stash this in an ender chest in a moment if we can find one in the central end city. That will also be a good thing, because then we won't have to put down the single ender chest I brought with me. And we could have brought more with me, I guess. I could have brought like a couple of ender chests if we needed them, but hey, not really a concern right now. I'll take the brewing stand with the health potions as well. That's always nice to have. And do you feel like we should go and get that dragon head? I think we should probably go and get the dragon head. My favorite way of getting the dragon head now is to walk out onto the dragon head itself, place a block underneath it, and then break it like so. And then we can just grab the dragon head like that. Perfect. Okay, now I think I'm going to head back to the overworld. I'm not going to get too greedy at this point. I've got all of the diamonds and stuff that I need. I want to make sure that this stuff is safely placed back in the overworld before we do any more exploring. So I think what we're going to do is take out this Elytra and enchant it with the mending book I brought with me using our anvil here, because I think that will only take 3 experience levels, only 2. Great stuff. So now we have an Elytra with mending. We can add unbreaking to that when it is possible to do so. Hopefully we find an unbreaking book either here or in one of the villager trades here and there. But I think now we should be able to make ourselves some fireworks and get the heck out of here. Always a little bit nerve-wracking testing the Elytra first time we get to fly, but 1, 2, 3. Oh, we're away. Great. Oh, amazing. All right, let's find that gateway again. Let's head back to the central end island and back to the overworld if we can. Now, which direction was that? I guess it would probably be over there, actually, thinking about it. But yeah, the Elytra durability is going to decrease at the normal amount until we can get unbreaking on it, which means, I think, 1 point of durability per second of flight. So we have to be very sparing about how we use this for now. But oh, it feels good to be flying again, folks. And given the location of the Ender return portal we have here, I am not going to take any chances ender pearling into that and potentially dropping into the void. No, no, no. Instead, we are going to pillar up and probably use trapdoor to get in. In fact, I could probably build a staircase to it from here. It's not a particularly high end portal, is it? There we go, folks. We can even save on ender pearls this way. All we need to do is open up that trapdoor, close that one, and stroll our way in. And here we are, back on the central end island, like nothing ever happened, except now we have Elytra and we have a few diamonds and shulker boxes to our name, and I can start to enchant some of this gear that has less than favorable enchantments on it. Here we are, my friends, back in the overworld, and hopefully I should have enough here to create a few more books. That looks like it will be enough to supplement the collection of bookshelves I have already got from the villagers down below, because librarians will of course trade you bookshelves, even if they will only trade you bookshelves one at a time these days. And in addition to the bookshelves I had already gathered, we have 12. Okay, that is only a couple off the total that we need. We can probably make one more with the books that we've got in there, and a little bit more trading should see us with a decent enchanting setup, which I think I'm going to place inside the house over here, because I don't plan on using it all that much, and I haven't really used the house for all that much yet. So let's climb the ladder up here, hope that there are no creepers around. Oh, and I've even started a little enchanting corner over here, so that seems like the place to go with it, really. We will, of course, need one of those books, and we'll need 4 obsidian in order to make ourselves this enchanting table. But now, if I break out a couple of the diamonds from in here, oh, this is going to be exciting, my friends. An enchanting table is ours at long last. Let me go and place that inside the house. We can assess how many levels we have on an enchantment right now and how many more bookshelves we need to make. Let's pop that down inside of here. Let's take a quick look at something we can enchant. Do I have anything we can enchant at this point? I guess I don't. Well, I will need to make myself a grindstone so that we can take the enchantments off some of this gear. I don't really want the efficiency 2, unbreaking 2. I think I could get better out of the enchanting table once we have a little bit of experience under our belts anyway. And with a few more bookshelves traded from this farmer, I think that should be enough to get us level 30 enchants. Now, this guy down here has a grindstone, but he is kind of using it right now. A grindstone is fairly cheap to make. We just need a stone slab and a few sticks, I think. While we're at it, let's use this little storage room in the house to store some of the useless stuff I picked up from the end, like the purple and end stone blocks. I don't really need to worry too much about those right now. I can also put away some of the wood that we have. I need to decorate this house a little bit better as well. The inside is looking a little bit bare these days. But there we go. My inventory is a little bit less of a mess. I can make a couple of sticks out of this, and I think that will be everything we need. There we go, to make a grindstone. Plus the bookshelves that we now have in the enchantment setup, we are now ready to see what we can get on some of this enchanted gear. And I want to have an infinity bow so badly, so I'd have to take up so much of my inventory with arrows here. Let's place the grindstone down in this little cubby over here, and let's disenchant this shovel to start off with, because I'm not really using a shovel for all that much right now. Let's see what we get. We have a level 30 enchantment in the space. Fantastic. Now, if we disenchanted this and re-enchanted it, we would end up with efficiency 4, because efficiency enchantments, when they pop up on one tool, will apply to any of the other tools that can be enchanted with the same level of stuff, so we could potentially get efficiency 4 on a pickaxe nice and easily, and that could come with fortune, it could come with silk touch, it could come with all manner of things. Actually, I think it is just fortune and silk touch, but anyway, those are, and unbreaking, I suppose, is the other one that we could potentially get. Wow, enchanting in Skyblock. Who'd have thought, folks? And all because we are able to get diamonds from the End City loot, and I think that is the takeaway from this episode. If you want to know where to find diamonds in Skyblock, that is the place to go, folks. You're probably also wondering where on earth you get lapis from if you want to do some enchanting in Skyblock, and I will tell you, you wake up your neighborhood cleric and you ask him to trade it for you, because yes, clerics will sell lapis lazuli as part of their trades as standard, and so I think it is nice and easy to get hold of lapis. We should be able to enchant some stuff with that. The next thing is really going to be getting enough experience, for which I will probably head back to the Nether Fortress farm and do a little bit more farming off camera, get some coal to trade with those blacksmiths, get a bunch more drops, get some more fuel. We're powering every single furnace in the place with blaze rods now, so we can get as much fuel as we want to. I think this episode, despite the death mid-episode, has been a complete success, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to leave a like on the episode, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye for now.